Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of the SPI Chamber Today Show. I'm Jeanette, I'm the President and CEO of the South Padre Island Chamber of Commerce. Diana is our wonderful marketing director and she's behind the camera with us today. And Beverly is always back at the office making sure that our members and future members are very well taken care of. So today we are feeling very artsy, crafty, because we are in the newest art gallery here on South Padre Island called Meridian and Muse that features Ryan Henry's art. This is Ryan Henry, and he hopes to bring on some future artists to display their work as well. So Ryan.
We already have one, Lisa Olivares, but we're going to bring in some more.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit more about you, why Meridian and Muse, what's going on?
I wanted to join the art scene, and then it's blossoming on the island. We now have something, I don't know, in the order of maybe 7 galleries, somewhere in that ballpark. Truly want to make it an art destination, and I find that I'm happiest when I'm making art. So this was a great leap for me, leaving the field of journalism to really pursue my passions.
Well, yes, there's a very diversity between words.
Yeah.
And pictures and art. So
but
it's
they're
all
both
very
creating, I was
Sure.
drawn into publishing and things because you make something every day, and then art's the same thing. So I still feel like I had always found my niche, but it was time.
Yeah.
And then Meridian and Muse, I get asked a lot, why Meridian, why Muse, why the name, why the logo? Well, Meridian is just another kind of word in the travel jargon. Muses with inspiration. We really do feel like the people that come to the island are travelers at heart, whether they settle here and visit. As an artist, I like to travel, find places to paint, and so it's also what drew me to plein air painting.
There it is, yeah, plein air.
Yeah, plein air. Some people will be familiar with that term. You may say it plein air, but it's a French term, plein air, and it basically just means outside. But when we've used it in art, it means literally we're taking our studio stuff outside and we're painting on the scene and we're bringing back something. It could be as simple as a study or any more today. There's some professionals who are making studio level masterpieces in a matter of an hour or two outside on the spot. And so the quality and the intent ranges.
Excellent. Well, I can't think of a better place to be outdoors and painting scenery because it's everywhere here on the island. So show us an example of this plein air.
Oh.
Do we have one anywhere?
Gosh, yeah, I have a mix of studio work and plein air. Some of the plein air stuff is already sold.
Well, that's good.
Okay, let me bring it to you.
Okay, great.
Because everyone will recognize, if they look carefully,
There you go.
they'll recognize what is, and this is called They Might Be Giant. Somebody asked me the other day, why? Where's the reference? The sapphire towers in the background.
Isn't that
This was
beautiful?
painted on South Padre Island in the median by the bridge, looking towards the sapphire towers there.
That's beautiful, and it's obvious in a way as to what it is, but not like in your face with hard lines. It's very, very pretty. And so the kind of paint you use for plein air is?
Well, I in this piece it was oil. Sometimes I plein air in watercolor or acrylic. And acrylic was something I didn't at first think was a good plein air thing because it dries fast and it's so hot out here that I thought it would just be a disaster. But now with technology, they have an open air plein air, sort of a acrylic that's meant for plein air painting. So
Who knew that there were so many different types of paint and styles of painting? So the one behind us here, you said this one was a...
This is studio piece, it's oil, but this is Port Isabel.
Wow.
Where Highway 100 passes by the Quick Stop and the White Sands. If you look over towards the Fingers, this is a scene everyone's going to be seeing coming and going from the island. And I painted that in the studio this weekend. I think I did a brief live stream of it, but it didn't complete. So it took me about 3.5, 4 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Not days,
No.
weeks, months.
No, I'm a prolific fast painter. Some of my paintings take days, but when I hear people say they work months on it, I'm like, I don't know if I have the attention span. I mean, it's great. I mean, art shouldn't fall under one way of doing it or another. Everyone has their own process, but for me, because of watercolor, I started with watercolor maybe 20 years ago. To me, it was one of those things where there's a really good watercolor has a looseness, and the more deliberate you are and the more, but you can fuss and you can ruin it. So there's a part of it of just trying to work against the psychology of perfectionism and just trying to say, I want to be done. But what really helped me was the plein air. I would go out and I'd say, I want to be a better artist. So I'd put a timer and I'd say, I'm going to sketch this scene or do this in 20 minutes. And I do that again and again and again until I just got a lot faster, a lot more confident. And so when I come back to the studio now, because of that, I work a lot faster. If you're doing anything more than an hour and a half at plein air, the sun's changed, the shadows changed.
Sure, that makes
you're
sense.
dying of heat.
That makes sense. Well, and I think that's also, it's what's the saying that progress is better than perfection. So you
I
do
love that,
get
yeah.
to kind of like, okay, it's good. Don't do, because you could put one too many, I guess, one too many strokes, and then you've kind of, like you said, kind of monkeyed it up. So do you have a favorite?
A favorite?
Let's take a look around.
Right
Let's go see.
now.
How about over here? What's over here? Let's take a look. Let's see what's, because you guys have to come and see this, because it is just absolutely beautiful. The natural light, the color schemes. We've got two entrances on the outside on Amberjack, and then we've got the courtyard here on the other side. We're at the Abbey, by the way, in case you
The
know.
2500 block of Pocket
Yeah, so if
Boulevard.
you're not aware of that.
Old Jake's. For
There
you
you
island
go.
folks, the Old Jake's. People were asking what's happening at Old Jake's. They saw the construction. We're starting to bring in art galleries. There's room for up to 3 in the Old Jake's.
Very, very pretty.
So
let's-
this right here is a favorite. Actually, you know, these palm trees could be anywhere, but I was standing under palm trees at the birding center here on the island looking up. So, you know, if anybody cares, these are birding center palm trees. And these are island seagulls, and this is one of the beach accesses here on the island, but for the life of me, I can't remember exactly the beach access. But somebody may be able to remind me. There's just so many beach accesses.
Yeah. So if anyone knows, be sure and make a comment here on the video. And
I
let
think
us
this
know.
is some people's favorite. I watched them just staring at it, and to me, it's
Horses in the
yeah. This is the end of the road at Highway 100. I was standing in the dunes, and obviously I didn't paint this on location because the wind would have blown this canvas
Oh my gosh.
all the way
yes.
across the bay. But what makes this unusual is that this is watercolor on canvas, which you may not have realized is possible. So I prepared this canvas with like a flexible paste that's meant for acrylics, but it allowed the watercolor to sit on it. Then I used watercolor. I had to take this out to a porch, and the watercolor is dripping down on the porch. I had a water hose running so it wouldn't stain the porch. And so you get all this drip stuff, and then I sealed it with a cold wax medium, which is a combination of wax and resin. So now it's waterproof. It doesn't have to be behind glass. You can touch it. You're not supposed to touch art. But if you
I
touch
did, sorry.
it's got a satiny sort of soft feel to it.
Okay. All right. Well, this is awesome. I mean, it is just beautiful. You know, Ryan he and I actually worked together in the newspaper world, so I'm very proud that he's been able to be a part of the chamber. And
I just crossed in front of you. I was just such
that's
an
all right.
awkward TV person.
We're doing good. People understand that we're here to highlight you. We're here to highlight our members, and we're just super excited for you.
So this is Clayton's, and you recognize some of the properties over here in the back. That's kind of by the pier looking up. Below it, I even have the little flats north of the
Yes.
convention center at night. There's a little tiny truck and people over here in the distance. Some of the shores, and people recognize these things. They feel, sometimes they recognize something that I hate to tell them, it's like that's not where it's at, but to them that's exactly evocative of where they
And
were.
look at the old pavilion.
Like this, The pavilion, that was ages ago. They've torn it down. They replaced it with a new pavilion. But I've had people come in and go, "Yeah, we were there yesterday." But the people who really, really know the island, they remember the pavilion and the shadows that it used to cast when the sun was coming through, and how children and summers were, with families were spent there.
Well, it's just beautiful. It's all beautiful, and we're so happy that you've allowed us to come in and visit and learn a little bit more about you and your new gallery. You've been open for what, 2 days? 3 days? A week?
We got the key on July 4th. I didn't even know that was going to happen. There was a lot of effort that was put into building up, tearing out old Jake's, getting, this building is, I'm told, is older than I am, and then getting it ready, and then the city would sign off on it. So I got a text on July 4th that your space is ready, and I jumped out of bed and we moved in and we were open that day.
Nice. Well, it is just stunning. And if you all love art, even if you don't love art, this is just spectacular and you have to come see it. Now the address is a little bit, it's not hard to find. If you come to the 2500 block on Padre, you can't miss the beautiful building, but you want to go down Amberjack because we're on the north side of the building. We can look across the street and see
Gabriella's Express. There's a new
Seaside Sammy's right across the
Seaside
street.
Sammy's. Are they a member? Am
Yes,
I
they
plugging
are, of course.
non-members?
No, they're a member, and they're good too.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we're grateful that you took the time to meet with us today. Very happy and very proud of you. You guys come on down. Now, do you have a website?
I do, meridianandmuse.com. I also want the follows on Instagram and Facebook. So on Instagram, if you could find us at Meridian and Muse. You can also find my personal artist page at Ryan Henry Art.
There you go.
But we'd love to have those follows and help spread the word out. And it's just a nice way. Sometimes I'll do live paintings, or we'll share, or we'll let you know what events are going on, even in the broader art community. And before we sign off, a lot of these galleries, if not all of them, are members now. And
Quite a few are.
I think so, yeah. And we're all working together. It's collaborative. We are working together. There's this island spirit there. So I want you to know that if you go into any one of these galleries, they might tell you, "Hey, check out this other one." And that's
very supportive.
And that's important, because if you think about, if you went antiquing in a town, you don't want to go to a town with one antique store. You want to go to the town with a whole row of antique stores, and there's something for everybody. And when you're trying to take your family out, it's rare that people think about going to an art gallery, I'll admit. But you might have the wife that wants a certain style of art. Maybe the father wants a different, maybe one's more muted, one's more colorful, one's more expressive, one's more representative. It doesn't matter. When you have this many artists and this many galleries, you don't have to worry about everybody having different tastes in the family. You can go from one shop to the other and find something that vibes. And so we're working together in that aspect.
Awesome. That's great information. Y'all need to come on out. Don't let this video, because we showed you quite a bit, but don't let that deter you from coming, because I'm sure that there are new things coming in every day, especially if this guy's cranking them out in 3 hours and they're that size. You know there's going to be new stuff all the time.
That, and I got a big box of shipment from Lisa Olivares yesterday that I was unpacking. Some of them are really, really priced reasonably well. You should come snatch them up.
Yep, you should. All right, Ryan, thanks so much. And thank you guys so much for joining us this week. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook as well as this guy on Instagram. And until next time, we'll see you on the beach.